Mm-hmm.
Push the button.
And we have pushed the button. Welcome
All
back
right.
to Sofia by Night, our Vampire the Masquerade chronicle set in the dark ages of Bulgaria. My name is Bolthra, and I am your storyteller. We are about halfway through season two and moving along great. I have two great players with me here. My first one is Matt. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am Matt. I will be playing Praetor, the Nosferatu, or of Clan Nosferatu, and looking forward to having some fun tonight.
All righty. And then our other player is the infamous Jen. You want to go ahead and
Oh,
introduce yourself?
infamous. Well, well,
Yes.
well. Well, Iskra might be infamous. That's who I'm playing. She's a 15-year-old angsty, grumpy vampire, and she's Clan Bruja.
All righty. We're going to try something new here. I want to see if I can get something to work here. We're going
Hmm.
to. Oh, and of course, it's taking longer to load than I thought it would load.
Aw.
Previously on Sofia by Night.
Let's see.
Our. And that didn't work quite well. Anyway, I'll work on that. I was trying to
Oh,
come up
well.
with some fancy thing to say previously on Sofia by Night.
Well, that would have worked right there, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I'll just record myself saying that. So,
Yeah.
in our last episode, Iskra and Hildegarde had briefly discussed maybe even leaving Sofia. Hildegarde seems to be kind of bored with the city and suggested maybe looking for new adventures in the mountains. But in the end, they decided it might not be worth leaving. Maybe who knows what they would run into in the mountains. Praetor has found evidence that someone has been in Turval's Haven. Um, and after in doing their own investigation, Petrov has given Turval permission to use the Haven as his own. So he now has now kind of has a place that the coterie can use. Um, the can't talk today. Iskra and Hildegarde ran into a trio of unorganized young men. I thought that was the best way to put it, looking to make
Mm.
the streets safe. Um, After conferring with Claudio, because the trio were wandering around the neighborhood by Nightshade, they conferred with Claudio, but Iskra didn't quite seem to know what she wanted to do about them. Should she just leave them alone? Maybe they wouldn't cause any more trouble. Claudio suggested using them to scout out Turval's Haven. Uh, Maybe he suggested killing two birds with one stone, but the coterie hadn't quite made a decision about that. The one thing they did seem to be leaning towards, though, was having Iskra and possibly Hildegarde move in to Praetor's new haven, and keeping it as almost like a coterie haven. Is that something they still want to do?
Yep.
Okay.
Praetor would not be against it, and keep in mind he has no designs upon either of you two for any other purposes than helping, working together. You know what I mean? Like this, if
Right,
this is going to
right.
be our home, this will be
Mhm.
our home, not his. With you guys kind of hanging on.
Okay. Well, your first, we'll say your first night in the new place, Praetor decided he was going to possibly explore a part of the house he had never been allowed into. Basically, Turval had kind of pushed him towards the basement, towards the stable for him to live in. But Praetor knows that there was probably some living space, or we use the term living uh,
Hmm.
vaguely, but some living space upstairs that might be he could maybe check out if he wanted to. Possibly, see if it'd be a place for him to stay, and make the newbies, maybe stay in the basement. It's kind of up to him because it's now his place.
Well, I would want to check it out before I invite them anywhere. Like I would check it out myself. I
Okay.
know Iskra's a how do I put this? Iskra is a good, competent fighter of her own, but
Hmm.
he would never make her face a danger that he himself would not face.
Oh.
Gotcha.
So he would check it out first. If there's enough room, Praetor is used to more Spartan kind of accommodations.
Mhm.
He would have no problem sharing it, but first he would definitely make sure it is safe for anyone before he would invite them upstairs.
Well,
So yeah,
that
definitely
that
check it out.
That sounds fair. Okay. Well, he decides he's going to check out that kind of the main room that was upstairs. It seems like kind of a large bedroom. When he goes in, it's really kind of just a bland, windowless room. There's a chest of drawers and just a simple bed in there. Nothing really fancy. He does notice though that one of the drawers has been left open. Everything else seemed to be shut tight.
He'll check that out because that's clearly something odd or off.
Okay. As he goes through, he just finds a lot of parchments in there, bills of sales, invoices, and other kind of business documents. Um, if he really wanted to take the time, he might be able to track it, maybe trace some of it down to maybe some of the crates that
Not now.
he's seen in the basement, that kind of thing. Um, but while he's in the room, do you have Fantasy Grounds open?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Could you make me a wits and insight roll, please?
Let's see if this works. I practiced a sword roll earlier. What difficulty?
It's going to be 5.
5. Okay, that's what I'm currently on. Insight, drag, and roll. 3.
Okay. He notices as he's going through the room, he notices the kind of the corner, kind of between the bed and the chest of drawers. There's a piece of parchment. It's all like crumbled up.
I will grab it, take a look at it.
Okay. Taking it out, he kind of smooths it out. It's a really crudely drawn map of Bulgaria. You can recognize the shape of the country, and you
Mhm.
notice kind of on the eastern side, over by the what would be the Black Sea. There's some notations there, but they're not kind of in a language you can really understand. There's something kind of written there.
Okay. I might show it to Iskra or Hildegarde
Okay.
later. Maybe they know. Or I'll hold on to it because since clearly it was something he didn't keep it with the other papers, so it may have some importance, but we'll find out at a later time.
Alrighty. Anything else you want to look at in this room, or?
No, just again making sure there's no traps. This looks like my guess is that Pervel slept here since it's
Yes.
windowless and a lot of the business papers are here. That's my guess is that he stayed here.
Yes.
Um, I'll I'll probably end up keeping this place for myself, this room.
Okay.
But we'll see. I want to continue on seeing if there's any. Are there any other rooms up here that perhaps
There
Iskra
are
or Hildegarde?
there are actually 2 other rooms. They're much smaller.
Well,
Um,
I guess some sacrifices will have to be made.
all right. It's good to be king.
Yes,
All righty. Um, one
but
of
I will
the
check those two out before inviting them
Okay.
upstairs.
Okay. We're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna say one to the left, one to the right.
Okay.
Go in the left room. It's very similar. Just a chest of drawers, bed, no windows. Everything seems to be kind of in order in here. You go into the right room, and it looks like a hurricane came through here. As you open the door, uh, chest of drawers, everything is pulled out. There are torn up paper all over. There's even a broken mirror in here. It's
Hmm.
very different than the other room.
Hmm. I will definitely give this room a careful sweep then, gathering up all the paper, that anything loose, checking for any potentially hidden spots in case there were any secret areas within this room.
Uh, let's have you take a look for it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Per-
That would be let's go with wits and is there investigation?
There's awareness or investigation.
Let's go with investigation.
Okay.
And it's going to be a difficulty 6, actually.
Okay. Is that challenging? No, that's very hard.
Very hard, yeah.
And investigation, click and drag. See if this works. So 1.
There's a room. You
Yeah.
haven't really found anything
Okay.
hidden panels or anything like
Okay.
that.
Just wanted to be sure.
Now,
I didn't figure I would find anything other than the mess, but
now the papers look like somebody deliberately tried to shred them. They just kind of tore them up and just kind of
okay.
cast them all over the place.
Well, we'll gather it up. Maybe there's clues in here, but again, that's something for future Praetor.
There, I mean, it looks like there's writing on it, but you'd have to look
Take
at it
time to assemble it.
exactly.
Yeah.
In the proper Nosferatu way. So
Yeah.
okay. Iskra, this is your first. It's going to be your first night at the at the New Haven.
Right.
You
So right
hear?
now, Praetor will kind of say, "Stay in the basement until I can clear everything."
Yeah,
So
which
All
is
right.
he's not attempting to be sexist in any way, but he's just like, "I'm worried about your safety. I don't know what Turvel has done. I haven't been up here before,
okay.
and I'd rather get
I think Iskra would get that. You know.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah, and Hildegarde has kind of brought some of her meager possessions along with her.
Hmm.
Bag with some clothes. She doesn't really seem to have a whole lot. She's a little calmer than she was the other night. She
That's
seems a
good.
little more relaxed being here than being over at Nightshade. Um, Praetor, as you're coming back down the stairs, you're going to be heading past what would be the front door,
Mhm.
and you notice by the front door that like an envelope was slid under the door that wasn't there when you went upstairs.
Okay. I will definitely grab that and take a look.
Okay. You open it up, and it's a letter. You recognize it's in Latin. I believe he speaks Latin.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's like the one language he knows,
Okay. Okay.
because it's supposedly from ancient Rome. You know,
Exactly.
that's his whole background.
Yep. And the handwriting on it is very fanciful, beautiful lettered script. And all it says in there is, "I will meet you in the city market at 11 p.m. this evening," and it's signed Raya, who is the Nosferatu elder.
Right. Oh, okay, good. I had wanted a meeting with her.
Mhm. Yep. So it's about, let's see, it's winter, so it's probably 6:30 or so. So you've got some time
Okay.
before 11 o'clock. Um, so yeah, so you've found out that she has agreed to meet with you.
Yay. Well, sort of yay. We'll find out if it's a yay or a nay later.
Okay. Do you do you go down and share this information
I will,
with
because if
Iskra?
something
Okay.
does go wrong, they may want to avenge me, or
Mhm.
who knows what.
Okay. Um, okay. You have a little bit of time to kill. Until then, is there anything the coterie would like to do before that?
What I will do is I will
Um,
go find Iskra and Hildegarde, tell
Hmm.
them I've examined the upstairs areas. I have not found any secret doors, traps, or anything in them, but that doesn't mean they're not there. It could mean that Turvel hid them very successfully. However, I will take the larger room, and you may each have either of the other 2 rooms. One does require a bit more cleaning up, but we can easily take care of that. Or perhaps Stefan, if he's around.
I would
could
have
do
brought
some.
him with, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he can help take
He
care
can
of that
help.
for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
we'll take care of that room.
Okay.
Okay. There's three rooms basically. We will each take one. As I said, I will take the largest, and then you two may share the others or split them between. I do not care. But I've examined it to the best of my capability. Um, on top of that, I have a meeting with the Nosferatu Elder this evening, the
Oh,
senior member. She has granted my wish for a meeting, and I will meet her. I'm meeting her at. I'll tell them the location. I'd advise you not to be seen anywhere near it, but should something happen to me, this is where I'm going.
okay.
And
We'll
Hildegarde.
see how long. Do you know how long this will take? Should we like worry after a certain amount of time?
I do not expect it to go more than an hour, I'll be honest,
Okay,
because I'm
okay.
simply letting her know what I'm doing. I'm taking over Turville's place, and perhaps she knows something of what Turville has done. I'm going to inform her what Turville has done and that he has fled. If she's probably already aware, but I want to make it officially on notice that I am taking over his old domain.
Okay. So this is like just setting things up then.
Yeah, more. I expect
Okay.
it to be more of a formality, as Turville has not shown his face since his deeds were uncovered, and I can't fathom that they were sanctioned by my clan or clan elder. I suspect he was doing this of his own accord.
Okay. So we'll wait an hour, and if we don't hear back from you, we'll come looking.
Okay.
So, and this is Hildegarde. So you don't want us to even just stay nearby just in case?
There is little you could do against an elder of my clan.
That makes sense. Yeah.
She's like,
Elders
okay,
got to be tough, you know.
Well,
okay.
and if they wanted to, they could. You wouldn't see them coming.
Ah.
That's what I hear about them.
Exactly. So it doesn't help. And if you are seen or spotted, now granted, my clan is not necessarily the best at such things, but should you be spotted, it could go badly.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll stay here then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I'm not back within an hour or so, as I said, I intend this to be much more just a formality. I am telling the clan elder I'm taking over Turville's location, and if she doesn't like that, well, there's not much I can do about it. But this is something by the rules of our society I must do.
Okay.
All
All right.
right. So go do that, and we'll clean up a bit, I guess.
I,
Okay.
I have nothing else to do for the evening other than waiting for that meeting.
Okay.
Like I said, I want to tell them the location of the church or whatever it is. I know that may not be Iskra's favorite place, but
Mm.
that's where I don't get to set the meeting.
Right. Well,
I,
yeah.
Okay. Then we're going to do the flash forward time. The Sophia by Night logo spins, and and we will flash forward into the evening. Praetor has arrived at it's like a large city market that during the day would be filled with people. At night, there's no one around. He gets there and it kind of walks through a kind of a small maze of small wooden stalls and some animal pens. They're all empty at the moment. Um, he kind of walks in and he's kind of like, well, they didn't say where to be.
yeah,
So he probably decides, well, I guess I'll just go to the middle and just see what I can find. Um, give me I want to have you make a roll. Let's do wits and awareness, and this is going to
yeah.
be this is going to be a little easier. It's going to be a 4.
Okay. It's getting better. I'm getting the hang of this doing this rolling thing.
Yep.
So much easier now that I'm like, oh wait, it took a
Right.
few tries and practices, but we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, failure. One.
All righty. Um, you as you're kind of looking around, you kind of out of the kind of out of your peripheral vision, someone a figure steps out of the shadows. Um, and it is Bishop Petrov.
Oh,
And he is surrounded by three different men. They appear to be clergy of some type.
okay. Uh, Praetor will stay where he's at, but offer a kind of raise his hand like an open palm, kind of like, um, greetings, Bishop.
Good evening. I see you received Raya's message,
I did.
and he just kind of smiles. He seems kind of satisfied. He's like, "You came alone." He said it more as a
Why else?
statement than than a
She
question.
is she is an elder. There is little I could do to resist. There's little I could do against her, nor if she wished it, I would not see her unless she chose it.
Okay. He's like, my presence here is only as a representative of the prince. Should Raya speak to you in private, I will leave. But as this concerns the traditions, I am here representing the prince.
Of course.
Um, and then you do now this you do kind of notice from the other side. He was kind of towards your right, towards your left.
Hmm.
You do see a kind of a tall figure walk in, and they're dressed in a large dark cloak. Um, and you have seen her before, but what I want to
Hmm.
do is share a picture of her again, because I have been bad about sharing pictures with you guys to say this is what so and so looks like. So, and of course, I'm not going very fast with it. Let's try it again.
Is it in the chat
I
already?
I have it. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I just
Okay. Okay.
Do you primarily do your phone for this, or do you use a computer?
I use a computer.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Okay.
I would do the same if I were
Yep.
doing this. So yeah.
And they are cloaked head to toe, but her face is visible, and this
Hmm.
is and this is the face you see.
Hmm.
Has a red eyes, kind of a very young face. The hair you see is really ragged and straggly. It's just kind of off to the side.
Hmm.
She moves forward. Her hands are gloved, so you do not see anything but her face. And
Hmm.
she steps forward and just kind of nods, kind of like, "All right, I'm here."
Was it Reina?
Raya.
Raya.
Yes.
Uh, Praetor will take perhaps one or two steps towards her. Elder Raya, I am Praetor, child of Terval. Terval has fled the region, and I seek to claim his domicile as my haven. This has the backing of Bishop Petrov and the prince, as Terval has engaged in activities that were counter to the prince's wishes, as it were. I'm simply letting you know that I will be a faithful member of our clan, unlike my predecessor. Feel free to call upon me at your need, and I will do my best to serve the city and its interests. And then I
When,
kind of take a step back.
when she speaks, and this is, you've heard her speak before, but just very briefly, her voice is like silky smooth.
Hmm.
The tone to it is almost like calming and welcoming.
Hmm.
Um, you would expect from a Nosferatu some kind of horrible gravelly voice, but she has this beautiful voice of still sounds like of a young woman, and she says, "Your sire is a traitor to both clan and prince. Given his prior reputation, I was actually against your creation."
I had nothing. I had little control with that. You understand.
Of course, Prince Sergei was
Uh,
was adamant that our clan needed to increase its numbers, so I was seemingly forced to allow you entrance into our clan. Thus far, though, you've proven me wrong and seem an upstanding type. Yet I still cannot fully trust you or your coterie, given your involvement with Turville.
Then allow my actions in the future to determine my worth. I can only do better.
You can. She kind of glances over at Petrov, and they kind of seem to have kind of a silent conversation about something with just their eyes. When you, she makes a small noise, just kind of makes like a wincing kind of, like her face kind of crinkles up like a little bit. I want to have you make a wits and awareness roll. This one's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a difficulty 5.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh wow, 4.
Yes, yes. You notice that when she looks over at him, somewhere around her midsection, something moved, like a big something shifted, like around her waist, and she made a face at the same
Hmm.
time.
Hmm. Are you okay?
She
He'll direct that towards her elder Raya.
and she notices that she's like, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I am fine. And she kind of
Very
put
well.
and you see her kind of put her hand on her midsection.
Yeah, like
She,
there's nothing. Something's not going on there, right? he's not dumb.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Something's going on, but
yeah.
if she won't talk, he's not going to make her.
He says, then the uh, the next steps really are up to you. Uh, are you willing to choose your clan over your sire?
Oh, certainly. My sire has proven to be false, traitorous.
Okay.
He is without honor, and therefore, no. He will. Hopefully, he will perish in the future. But until he comes forward again, I see no reason to chase him down. He's on his own, without any resources, without backing. He is probably bereft of funds and resources and whatnot. So I do not expect him to live long.
Hmm. And she doesn't say anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she says, "Very well. We will we will speak again at a later time." Uh, and she looks back over at Petrov and she says, "That's I'm done here basically."
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of just uh, she takes a step back. You hear some kind of shuffling, kind of behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then for some reason comes out a disheveled man. Looks like he's probably in his late 40s. Matted hair, torn up rags. He kind of comes out from behind her, and he's actually on his hands and knees, um, and comes kind of waddling towards Praetor.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of weird look on his face.
And who would you be?
And then as he gets about a foot away, his head pulls back, and you notice there's a rope around his neck.
Hmm.
And Raya is holding the rope.
So far, they've done nothing to, they haven't done anything, right? Just
No, no,
look
no,
weird.
no. There's and he's kind of snuffling. He's got
Slavery isn't uncommon still here,
nope,
or is it forbidden in this? Has Sergei forbidden slavery?
no, no.
Okay, so yeah, I don't. This is nothing new. I mean,
Yeah,
it's. I've never really met her beyond an appearance, so he's not shocked.
yeah. Okay,
Not yet.
this man seems to be more like almost like more like a rat than moves much more like a rat than a human.
It could be a ghoul. I'm thinking this to myself, not saying anything. I don't think much of it. Iskra has her own ghoul, so I think nothing of this.
Okay.
I'm basically like I look at him and like I don't make any reaction whatsoever other than I look at him.
Raya pulls him back tightly on the rope, and she says, "Back in place." And the man kind of just crawls back behind her cloak.
Again, nothing. It's not phasing him in the slightest.
Right,
This is
right.
perfectly normal behavior for our society.
Good. Right. All right. She kind of steps back into the darkness. Petrov kind of just gives you a nod, and him and his boys kind of drift off into the darkness, and you are left alone.
Yeah, Praetor will just thank the bishop, say thank you, bishop, as he's leaving,
Okay.
and otherwise, once they're clear, he will then return to his new haven.
Okay. Uh, when he gets back, he sees, as he's kind of walking up the street, he sees a shadow move past kind of the front door.
Okay.
It
Uh,
kind of like something moves quickly, like away
mhm.
from.
Okay. I will go to that location and see what I can see, if anything. I'll have my hand on my sword, but I will not draw it.
And it looks like somebody was kind of trying to open the front door. Like something looks like something's a little off.
Mm-hmm. Uh, hmm. Don't know. There's no other signs of anything else.
No, no.
Okay. Okay. Clearly somebody wanted in, but was it Turvel or someone else?
Right.
We don't know.
You don't know.
I will go inside then and ask. I will check with Iskra and Hildegarde, see if they saw or heard anything while I was gone.
Iskra,
Mm-hmm.
let's see if you heard anything.
Okay.
Let's make a wits and awareness roll.
All right.
And I will do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
You thought you heard a little something, almost like a like kind of like a little sound of metal, like something like turning. Um, just a little while before Praetor came home. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I thought you heard
Okay.
something.
All right. So if I heard something, then I was probably somewhere within proximity of that
Yes.
door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see Praetor come in, and I'm like, oh, so that was you trying to open the door. Okay, that makes a lot more
No,
sense.
no,
I I
someone was.
heard I heard something. There was like a something metal. I maybe a key. Did you use a key?
I don't know. Do we have keys for this?
You would, but
Okay.
lockpicks existed then. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Iskra doesn't
No,
know that
someone,
though.
someone or something was skulking about the front door. I caught. I came back probably too soon for them, and they ran off. I could not get a good. Visual of them. So this may be something we have to be aware of. We probably need someone to watch over the house during the day. That clearly that's going to be
Stefan.
Stefan's job. But we may need to have someone else watch the place at night as well for further intrigue if we're going to be away for a while. But Turvel,
Hildegarde,
Mm.
Turvel could Turvel could have his own minions
yeah,
looking
Oh, I
to
had
do
not thought of
something.
that.
yeah,
Yes, he could
Oh.
hire individuals. He may have other child or children. I forget what word we use. Who may be uh, looking to gain or looking to recover things Turvel was forced to leave behind. Unfortunately, this place is
Oh.
too big for three of us to constantly watch every possible entrance, exit, or secret door that may exist. Uh, I intend to still stay here, although if you
Hmm.
wish to leave, if you and Hildegard wish to go on your own and find your own place, I can't guarantee safety here, but I will do my best.
Hildegard
Well.
wants to stay. She's like, no, I'll
Mhm.
stay. I can. How can I get one of those ghouls?
Uh.
Uh, Iskra?
I don't really know how to teach you that. I mean, you were with us when we found Stefan sitting by the wall, and you saw what Patia did. I guess that's how
Yeah.
it works,
So
you
I
know?
just go out and like hire somebody or something, or like
No, it's not exactly a hire kind of situation. You, mm, I don't know all the details. I just mimicked what Patia did, and it worked.
she's because I'm not comfortable with the um the looking sexy thing. I don't really like that. So I don't know how I'm not good with the stare into their eyes and make them follow me thing. I tend to be more of a kind of tough and beat things up, even though
Well,
they're
I understand that. Yeah.
All three of us
Yeah.
work, actually.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. If I hadn't seen Patia do it, I wouldn't know how to.
What did you see Patia do?
Well, we had if you remember early on with the Nightshade, as it's now called, uh, Claudio demanded that one of the men sit by the wall and stay there. And it was Stefan, and he didn't do that. And I went up to yell at him and say, "You will stay there." And when we returned, he was still there in a very weakened state. And Patia was with us. And so she immediately uh, ghouled him, basically. We use the term servant, though, because we don't use that
Well,
word. But
how does he? I guess what did I see him feed him before?
Iskra, yeah, you did the other
Yes,
day.
I
Okay,
think you did. Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
he asked for it. So is that what keeps him as a servant?
I think so.
So then, Hildegarde, it would behoove you then to find someone you trust, and then feed them your blood. It seems that's how it works.
But I don't trust anybody but you guys.
Then you have a problem.
Yes. This is going to be a problem then. Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
we
if you want one, you have to find someone who you would be willing to trust. Stefan, I think, clearly was already a servant of another
He
vampire,
Patia's for a while, and she
Proteus.
decided that he would be maybe I could make better use of him, I guess, than
Okay,
she
so she
did.
transferred that
Yes.
I don't know what to
maybe.
call it.
Uh, what? Sorry, didn't hear it.
Oh well, Hildegarde's wondering. She says maybe I could get one of those girls from Nightshade before they get killed over there. Maybe I could get one of them. You think one of them would be worth it?
Well, you said you want to find someone you can trust. Do you know them well enough to trust them?
I think it should be someone you trust. That is simply my opinion of it.
It's safer that way.
I agree.
But in the end, it seems like it's just somebody we're going to throw away anyway. And that
Not
seems like a very
necessarily.
Ventrue thing for her to say.
It does, yes. I mean, maybe your clan does this, but Bruja don't. We take care of them.
I
Oh,
understand. And Praetor knows that Turtle probably had a ghoul, maybe one or two, but never sat down and calculated out who it was,
right, right,
Hmm.
right.
or
Right.
didn't care. It wasn't
Right. Well,
his business.
I've met all of Patia's servants, and they seem to be very well taken care of.
Are they all under her thumb, as it were?
I would assume, unless she's transferred some over to Katerina, which is her sire. So if asked, I mean,
Okay.
it's I don't know exactly.
Well, there's something to be said for the fact that if the girl is young and perhaps has no enemies, it could be worthwhile to bring her into the fold and have her, how do we say, shape her into the person we need her to be.
I guess.
I mean, if she's,
I'm kind of new at this. I don't
yeah,
know
well,
for
so am
sure.
I. But
Right,
um, what was Eric's character's name?
Claudio.
Claudio.
Claudio. Claudio seemed to have an intuitive grasp of such things. Um, but we, on the other hand, we're less, how shall we say, socialized, and
Oh yeah, that'd be about right.
So So does this mean we have to go out and just start making friends, and then we'll start using them for our own purposes?
Not
I
necessarily.
not necessarily. I mean, Stefan wasn't a friend to begin with.
Stefan seems
But
very uncomfortable during this
I'm
conversation.
sorry. I'm sorry, but it's what happened.
yeah,
He's-
it is. It's the truth. I mean, it's
yeah,
sometimes the truth is uncomfortable.
yeah.
But yeah, this my my opinion would be that you may want. My opinion would be that you gain someone to trust. You find someone you already can trust. If you can't do that, a young person who has no aspirations, no goals, someone who simply wishes to um, live out their life as they choose, could be something that you know uh, you could bring under your wing and teach them our ways, and thus gain their friendship, gain their trust by that.
I thought of something. Hildegard
What's that?
Hmm.
says,
Hmm.
"What about those three guys? They might still be wandering around. We've met them before. They seem like they needed something to do. Maybe we get one of
Are
those
you
three."
are you intending to make them your servant, or I don't know if
Sure.
Venture used the word ghoul. Okay, so you're going to need to feed them, and I don't think you're going to be able to feed all three
I don't know if I need
enough.
all three. Couldn't I just take one of them?
That
I
would make some sense. And if they are indeed a hazard to our life, having one of them as an inside member who knows their schedule, knows their missions, could be useful.
hmm.
Notice Praetor avoids the
Possibly.
word secrets.
Hmm. Yes. Um. Well, they've seen us already,
Yeah.
Yes, and they know
and
they know
well, I
we're
mean,
here. And
I
as
don't
far
know
as
if
they
they
know,
know
we
we're
mean them no
here.
harm. Well, they know currently we mean them no harm.
Well,
Although it would mean that
they've only seen Hildegarde and I lied to them about who I was. I gave my name
I'd
because it's a
expect nothing
common name
less.
where I'm from, but um yeah,
I don't disagree with this plan. Um,
hmm,
because it could be useful to have one of them have knowledge of their exploits and have knowledge of their workings in case they do succeed in certain missions, or if we are caught by them, for example, having one of them be on our side already
hmm,
could turn the tide in such situations.
possibly. But they've definitely seen me. I don't know how well Hildegarde hid into the shadows at the time, but uh
I think they saw me too because they said
yeah,
they wanted to walk both of us home.
right. I think they assumed we're siblings, which you may as well be.
Well,
But
since they're already aware of you, I see no. I don't see how this could go. It could be easy to find them, and
yeah.
easier to probably bring one of them under our sway. However, the question would be which one of the three? Did any one of them seem to be more in charge than the others?
Oh yes, there was
And
one,
that is
slightly
then
older.
that is probably not the one we want.
No,
Yeah, that one was his name was Matthias. He seemed like to be the one in charge.
yeah, but the
And
one that
Okay,
was holding the scythe wrongly, like he'd never held a weapon, he seemed
the
unsure.
youngest, the
Yeah,
youngest,
he never gave his
or
name either. He might have been the youngest. He wasn't very big.
what about the other?
He seemed to be just. He didn't seem adept as a fighter from the look of it.
yeah, the other two were just kind of followers. They just seemed to be kind of following Matthias around. So he seemed like the only one who seemed to kind of know how to handle a weapon. Swing a sack of doorknobs as it is.
The other one you said wielded a scythe. Perhaps he's a farmer of some kind in his other
Well,
duty.
if he was a farmer, he was still not carrying it correctly. I'm from a
Ah,
farming area, and that was
ah,
just. He could have injured himself or his friends quite easily with that, the way he was holding it. But
and perhaps he is
anyway,
not making the wisest of choices, and therefore I think our other man is our potential candidate.
probably.
And if he is the quiet type, perhaps even better. He may know how to hold his tongue.
Possibly. My concern is, though, if we bring one of them back, if Hildegard chooses one to be her servant, uh, I don't really want them to figure out what we are.
No, I think that's fair. At least until such time, they need to prove themselves before we
Hmm.
bring them completely under our fold. I think, Hildegarde, if you wish to have him as your servant, you keep him away from this house until, at least until for a little while, until we can be sure that he is well under our thumb.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah. We didn't have to do that with Stefan because of circumstances.
Well, yeah, he already knew certain things. I think
Yes.
you have to take the long approach to bringing him under your sway. Certainly allow him to escort you home somewhere once or twice,
She cringes.
and then, yeah, well, not necessarily here, but if he thinks the whorehouse is your home, that might not be
Oh,
bad.
he doesn't know that. We never said that. We
Oh,
made
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
oh no, our parents live here and they're conservative and they wouldn't
yeah,
want
oh,
young men walking
okay,
us home,
yeah,
kind of
okay,
thing.
yeah.
all right.
Yes.
Well, whatever ruse you've used, continue. I was offering a suggestion, but uh, let him think you are the damsel in distress, at least for a while, and then perhaps, give him what's needed to bring him under your sway. But
But
I don't.
how can she be the damsel in distress dressed as she chooses?
You're gonna make me put on the
Uh,
dress again, aren't you?
I'm
I am
not going
not
to make
making
you
you
do
do
anything.
anything. Yeah. How interesting we both came up with that. But
Yes.
uh, I'm simply pointing out that if you wish to do a certain thing, you may have to make sacrifices. If you don't wish to make the sacrifices, then don't do the thing.
But they've already seen her
That
in
that's
men's clothes.
that doesn't. What I'm saying is that damsel in distresses may not be the right word or phrase, but they clearly identified you as women, did they not? And else, why would
Well,
they
I
offer to
did.
escort you?
They maybe they were asking me because I was
No,
dressed like.
they thought we were girls because they said
Did they?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So they
You
didn't
could be.
notice your
I
clothes.
mean,
and
you
she
could be
mildly
nothing more
blushes at
than.
that. So
You could be
Okay.
peasants. I mean, you
yeah,
don't have to dress fancy
yeah,
to be a girl.
yeah.
You simply just have to look harmless or defenseless.
Hmm.
And peasants and villains could wear anything they wished because you're poor.
That makes sense. That does.
And
Or
all the more reason for them to escort you.
or we could have you go get a servant, Praetor. And I just shared a picture of Hildegarde. You may not have seen her in a while. So,
Oh yeah. Right. She wouldn't be dressed like this though.
no,
At the moment.
no, no.
Mhm.
Uh,
She seems like she wants a servant, but is afraid of the plan. But is kind of all right. Well, I guess if
Oh, I
I
just realized
what's that?
you
what?
you are hesitant because you told me you don't know how to feed, and
She
that would be part of this, I
she
think.
kind of gives you the evil eye. Like
I mean, we can teach you this.
it's not that I don't know how to. It's I'm very uh, particular with
Well, we all have. Uh,
from who I can feed from.
So you you choose not to feed on certain folk. Is that it?
Yes.
well, that's not unusual. I mean, as you've seen, I tend to pick drunk, unattached men who are probably scoundrels.
I prefer to take those who are asleep wherever possible. But it's not necessarily something I must do. Circumstances sometimes force our hands.
Well, do I have to feed from this guy first before I can feed him? I thought he just drank from me.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. As
I
far as
wasn't sure
from,
what your understanding was, but it makes more
yeah,
sense now.
I think they only have to feed from thee rather than you feed from them.
I think that's right.
All
If
right.
anything, that might make it an easier servant upon you, in that you wouldn't have any compunction to sacrifice your servant for your own needs.
It's true.
Hmm.
So,
So what do you prefer?
um,
Is she now of a barrister?
Oh,
yeah,
it's all right. We're not going to judge you. We're all doing the same sort of thing.
it's complicated.
How could it be complicated? It's a fairly easy process.
It goes back to my sire.
Did your sire have certain restrictions,
I
or did
can't
he
explain
impart them?
that.
Did he impart them upon you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Fair
It's
enough.
Yeah, I think I
I'm.
know just enough, but I'm not talking.
It is your secret, and I will not pry it from you.
yes.
Um, but
And
it's I just if I come across something where it could be useful to you, then I would like to know what I'm looking for. But again, I won't. If you don't want to share that information with me, I won't force it from you. I'll find out later. Left unsaid.
yeah, she seems to just want to change the subject and
Okay.
doesn't want to
I
go
have
into it.
no. I do not intend to follow in Turville's footsteps as a business owner in the business he chose. So I don't know that I necessarily need a servant of my own yet. I may still, but for that time being, I am not. I don't think we need one. It's a responsibility enough to have control of this domain and defend it. That that's the only reason I could see needing a servant would be helping defend our home. Hopefully, Stefan will do enough initially, but if worse comes to worse, then I will do so. But as of now, I don't see a need for me to have my own.
Stefan kind of deflates a little bit. He's got this look on his face like, great, I got to work 24/7.
What?
Not quite.
No, no, no. It's not like that.
Um, then Hildegarde is all right. Let's see if we can find these guys, and maybe there's a way I can lure him somewhere and get him to drink my blood. I think it's gonna involve something creepy though. I just don't feel like this is going to go well. Maybe,
Well, as I said, it doesn't have to be right now tonight.
It
It could
doesn't.
be. It can be something you plan ahead.
but then he's gonna think I'm in love with him or something.
Does it
Does it work
matter?
that way?
I don't know. She goes, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
Ah,
She goes,
yeah.
again, I'm not good with the stare into my eyes and do what I tell you thing.
Well, I don't do that either.
Yeah.
I'm generally violent, but
Wh-
but not for this. This was different because Patia taught me how.
Or maybe we could just knock him out and then I just pour the blood down his throat.
I have no idea what that will do.
Again, no. This is. I guess it depends on. I don't know. This is new to me as well.
This is almost like the Judy Blume vampire story.
It
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, how does this work? We don't know.
I guess we have to
Yeah.
find out on our own if the grown-ups won't tell us.
Yeah, I mean, well, Iskra kind of knows how to do this, but
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And Praetor has a good idea of how it's supposed to work, but it's he doesn't
Well,
see a need for one for himself, at
right.
least.
Right.
If she
Well,
wants one,
you've seen Iskra with Stefan trying to
yeah.
feed him, so
Well, it's
you
Stefan seems to be a perfectly fine servant.
yes.
Stefan says, I aspire to be the greatest servant you can have, madam.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. And I like pat his arm. You're doing good.
Perhaps we need to table this discussion for another evening, but it is something we should discuss further. Whether or not, I think it's a good idea to have one of those men as a part of our group, or at least having one of them be someone we can control. I don't like the word, but
Mm,
manipulate, influence.
that yeah, that's possible.
it doesn't seem like a bad thing. But I want to find out more about what they're doing, um, and how they intend to go about it. If there seem to be if they seem to be a group that could hurt our particular society by their actions, then yes, we definitely need to have one of them under our influence. But if
I
they're
don't know. I mean, they didn't notice we were vampires. Um,
but
they,
would they? I mean, would
I,
anyone? I
I
mean,
don't
aside from
know.
myself,
Right, right,
I
but
have an issue there. But
mm, okay, granted, but you hide better than the rest of us, I think. But yeah, so they seem to be like the older guy was just kind of he decided that he and his two friends who didn't seem to know what they were doing should act as guards because apparently he felt the guards were not being protective enough of the slums, as he called it, and they'd noticed people had gone missing.
what about how the constabulary or whatever they are, the regular guards
Mhm.
are? Do we know if they're under the influence or control of anyone in our society?
I don't
Uh,
know. Oh,
Storyteller? No, you don't. You don't know if
okay.
Yeah,
I thought it
specifically.
was
Yeah,
Hildegarde. I'm like,
yeah.
what does she
No.
know?
Oh no, sorry.
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. No,
Well,
no.
that's just it. Like the guard may be leaving the slums alone because that's the prince's orders. That's what I'm
Oh.
wondering is like, or Bishop Petrov may say, okay, I want the guards over here tonight, so we keep the slums empty for feeding grounds. And it could be that because our society knows that we're here and we're new, we're making mistakes, so they're keeping the
Mhm.
guard out because then it doesn't arouse any suspicion.
That makes sense.
So that's all I wonder. I know sometimes, Turville controlled a certain part of the society, and that he was able to smuggle in things and smuggle out things, or at least attempted to smuggle out things. Um, so it's not impossible that certain members of our society could control the guard, and perhaps if we can get one of their members, as I said, under our influence, then we learn what they're up to. But again, I don't know that this has to happen tonight unless they're proving to be a really serious problem
And
for
they seem
us.
kind of inept for the most part, but who knows
Yes,
if
but
they'll gain
practice
more
may
people.
yes, practice may make them bolder. Successful certainly make them more enthusiastic.
Right, right.
So,
It's going to take a lot of
well,
practice for two of them, though.
I guess now that I know if I know what they look like, perhaps I can follow them discreetly and see what they're up to, see how well they're really good at see how well they can perform at this job they've taken upon themselves.
Well, they carry torches, so at least one of them did, so you'd spot them real easy.
Yeah, but they might not see me, which is good.
Right.
Um,
Hildegarde seems to agree with this. She goes, "That sounds better. That maybe somebody who's sneaky can follow him." She goes, "I know how to sneak around a little bit. It's how I." And then she kind of pauses and she's like, "It's something I can do."
Hmm.
I understand. I'm pretty good at it myself. But
I'm
yes,
probably not that good at it, honestly.
Maybe
why don't we watch them for at least a night or two, or see some,
a
give them.
fortnight, perhaps.
That would actually be good.
A fortnight. Uh, um, Hildegarde.
Watching them for a week or two makes sense to see if they're if they are as inept as you seem to think they were, or perhaps that was a ruse.
Hildegarde says maybe I could talk to Reynaldo. Maybe he can teach me to do the look in my eyes thing, and maybe I can learn how to do that stuff.
It's possible.
I don't know if Mr. Claudio would be a good teacher or whether or not he even has any time for me.
Well, and it
Hmm.
would mean spending time in the.
Yeah,
And
that place.
I don't think you want to spend any time there more than necessary.
No,
So
no. I'm going to see if I can find Mr. Ronaldo, and maybe he can teach me some of that.
Well,
Good
he's part of
plan.
your clan. I mean,
All right. So we'll have you try to follow these guys around and
Yeah,
see what we can find out what they're up to.
yeah. I think that'll work for now. At least see if they have any real threat or interest to us. I mean, we may watch them and learn how inept they really are.
it won't take long to notice.
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
they've done some serious
it's worth
practice,
a
I
look. See.
suppose.
I mean, it'd be one thing if we get one of these people under our influence, but they're completely inept and instead accidentally betray us. Then that would be bad. I mean, it would.
Hmm.
Let's give them a look over and see. And my own,
Okay.
I'm hoping that with my natural abilities and my special abilities, I can give them a good looking over.
I bet you'd do well with that.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what I can do with that, but
I don't. I
they've
don't
already
know that.
seen me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could be the bait to distract,
Hmm.
if nothing else. They think you're the helpless peasant girl. Um,
Well, of my size, most men do think that. So,
it's worth a shot. I mean, we don't have to sit. We can plan it out but we can also let's see what they do. I think we just have to at least give them a chance, or let's see how they really are.
All righty.
okay.
Good enough?
That sounds great. She
Okay.
seems much more comfortable with that idea.
All right. Because like I said, if we look them over and we find that they're not really worth our time, well, they could be eliminated if need be, or an accident could be arranged.
If,
And
yeah.
I think that is an excellent place for us to wrap up.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for everyone who has been listening, and thank you again to my players. We'll be back soon with another episode. Goodbye.
Bye.